Hello, this is Dennis with A1 Telephone Service and Repair, A1 Electronics. You can reach us on the web at www.a1-telephone.com, and you can also reach us at 618-235-6959. Today I want to show you the final checkout of a really cool telephone. This is what I believe to be a German post office telephone, although I'm not really totally sure. HG sends a lot of cool telephones in, and this is his telephone. But this telephone says Paris on the bottom of it. So regardless to wherever it came from, it's a foreign telephone, and it's a really cool telephone. And basically, this is what was on the line cord. This is how they connected their telephone up. And we did away with that and got this out of the way. And I wanted to keep the original cord. It's a heavy-duty line cord, and I wanted to keep that. It's original to the phone, and there's no reason not to use it. So what we did was we pigtailed on a little bit of a modular plug, and we got some heat shrink here, so that's not really going to come apart. So that should be fine. And we got to save his original cord. So that was pretty cool. And so basically what we're going to do here is some checks. There was a lot that went on with this telephone. There's a lot of things that you have to pay attention to. It also has, I guess what they call the mother-in-law earphone here. Basically, from some of the research that HG's done on some of these telephones, or on this telephone basically, was that the reception wasn't that great at times. So what they did was, the ideal was to use the handset and basically take the other piece, and you could use it like a set of headphones. So you would have this up to your ear, and then you could put this on the up to the other ear, and you'd basically have like a set of headphones on for poor reception when poor reception was happening. And so that's basically a really cool, unique situation. And so anyway, there's an initial video. There's a second video showing some of the things that we were going to do and what we had to pay attention to. There's also there's a lot to do. What we did was we kind of did a hybrid situation, and we used some of HG's other board that was originally in this telephone, and then we kind of hybrided it up to another board so that we could get our touch tone, because basically this telephone dialed out in rotary, and I never did find any way to turn that rotary PC board and couldn't get enough information on the IC chip to get a touch tone situation out of it. So we designed in kind of a hybrid situation. And so there's all kinds of little details that you got to pay attention to. And any newer board is not going to support the original receiver capsule that's in here on this receiver here. And we got to save the original receiver on the handset and the original transmitter. So I wanted to do that, if we could. And so since the board he had supported that, we utilized that part of the board for those options, and also the bell that's original to the phone. And so I'm just going to kind of go through it and show you a little bit of everything that we've done. Now what I want to do first is I want to ring the telephone. And if you notice, I installed, if you can see that little light there, I'm going to go ahead and answer the telephone. Basically what this little light started out to be, HG had wrote a letter, and I've done a lot of other telephones for HG, and so basically he kind of assumed that this light was for the bell when the bell was turned off, that it would flash when the bell was turned off. And actually what this light here was, and I brought that light out. This is actually a different LED altogether. I wanted one that was a little longer, that protruded out of the keypad a little more than the original one. So basically this has been changed, but I designed a circuit to where this would light, this LED would light like he had in his ideal, that the light would light when the bell was off. So basically what it really was when you would dial out, this light would flash or come on, and while you were dialing, and that's what that light was originally for. Another ideal that HG had was to do something with the T here and to do something with the R. And you know, I didn't really even think about it when he had mentioned that, but if you notice, you have to have this. If you're gonna turn this keypad and it's no longer going to be rotary and it's going to be touch tone, what good is it if you get into a situation where you're dialing out in tone and you might need star or pound? So really, we couldn't do anything with these two buttons because it's just logical to have, if it's going to be touch tone, have your star and pulse. So basically I had to go with star and pulse, and he had thought of maybe a redial and a flash or some kind of a hold. But I'll tell you what I did do. Since I had to utilize these two buttons for what they really were for, basically in a normal keypad, which would be star and pound, I snuck a little button here in where the original design was for two lights here, and they were offset a little bit. I'm not sure why, but they weren't punched out, but I could see in the plastic where the mold was, that it was, and on the main or on the board for the dialing, I seen where there was where there should have been another light, and in their design they didn't use it. So basically what I did was I took what was marked and I cut it out and added a little switch, and I'll show you that little momentary switch here in a second. You just push it. So basically we're just going to do some checking. I'm going to give you some dial tone here. And then I also want to show you dial tone so both units have dial tone, the receiver and then your receiver cup. And so what we're going to do now here is we're going to dial some numbers. And I'm going to go back to 2. So now I'm going to hang up, give you some dial tone, and I want to hit redial. And it'll end in a 2. So basically what it comes down to is we did have to use the T for star and pound, our last 2 of the 12, and like a normal keypad, but I was able to sneak in a little momentary switch which gave us redial. So now all you have to do to get redial is just push that little button. So it kind of worked out. There's so many different things. You never know in these designs when you start on them exactly how they're going to turn out, because you're basically designing something after the fact. And I think it turned out pretty good. Another thing I want to do is I want to ring the phone again. I want to show you that little red light. Maybe it'd help if I turned out the lights. Another thing I did was I've done enough work for HG to know that he'll want a switch on the back to take away that mechanical sound. When you turn off mechanical bells, you can still hear the solenoid kicking. And so basically, there's still a mechanical noise there, and it doesn't totally shut them off. So now, since I've hit that switch, I'm going to go ahead and ring it. Now you can see the light ringing here. You can see the ring cycle. So that's an indication that the telephone's working. And if you had the bell off and the telephone was on a nightstand or a desk or something, I'm sure you would probably notice that little light. And I'm going to reach back here and I'm going to turn the switch back on for the bell, and I'm going to catch it on a ring cycle. So it all worked out. And I want to give you a little look at the inside now of just exactly what kind of went on. See if we can get the phone here apart. I thought it was pretty neat how they had their keypads. They have it on a mounting bracket, and if you push real hard and pull this tab up out of the way, you can simply pull the whole keypad out. But basically this keypad has totally been taken apart. And I showed in another video that these buttons are not on springs. They're actually on magnets, and it was quite a design. I thought it was pretty cool, and I wanted to show that to you. Another thing that we had to do, not only do we have to rewire everything and install another board to kind of hybrid it out, we had to also use the original board that was behind the keypad, because that also takes care of the amplification for your transmit and your receive. And we have two receivers here, so that board had to stay, but we found a new place for it. Another thing we did off the original hook switch here is we cut the plastic open on the front of it and added another switch for our second board. So when you push the hook switch down, there's no difference really. It's all within the same hook switch situation and the same design and area. So basically that worked out, but we had to add a switch. And then back here on the back is basically where we added our bell switch, and it's basically right up underneath. It's basically right up underneath where the cover fits down, so the cover doesn't quite hit the switch. So I didn't really want to cut the cover, so I wanted to make sure that was very low and trim line, so that the switch could be switched on and off, but yet not be involved underneath the cover. So the cover comes right above it, and you can still reach back and turn it off and on. So out away from the phone is on, and back towards the phone is off. So that all worked out real well. Here's all of our original connections for all of our line cords going out. You have actually two receiver cords and a transmitter, and then we have our line cord that comes out. So it's a pretty cool telephone, and I want to show you something about the bells. I'll stick this, I'll reinstall the keypad real quick. I thought that was a pretty slick idea they had, how they pushed that in and kind of lock it into place. This is the bells that are in it, and basically they do turn off. They're from inside. If you turn it upside down, if you turn the bell like this and turn this one, they have a little, they have their words here, on and off, basically. So now the bell is actually off. But what's going to happen is, see, these bells have two flat sides. If you can see that, the bell has a flat side in the off position. So these bells have a flat surface to them. And what's going to happen is our solenoid's going to kick back and forth. And so I'm going to go ahead and ring it. And that's not touching the bell at all. So I just turned the bell on. You can see there's a flat side. Now both bells are on. And exactly what HG, I'm going to turn that one off, and I'm going to turn this one off, and so now they're flattened out again. And this is the noise that HG generally doesn't want to hear. If he turns off the bell on these telephones, or any telephones that I usually work on for him, he doesn't even want to hear that mechanical sound, and I don't blame him, because in reality, you know, none of these companies ever put a real off and on switch. What they did was they would squelch the bell, or they would turn the bell a certain way so that the bell wouldn't be hit by a gong or something, and so basically you still hear this. You still hear the mechanical noise from the solenoid. But I'm going to reach back here and I'm going to turn it off. So basically what happens is now he has a real off and on switch, and it's never going to bother him now. So you can just reach back and turn the switch on and off. And he's got his light in the front. And what's neat about this is, I guess they figured you could turn both bells on or both bells off, or just one at a time. So now another thing that we want to do, since we know the telephone is in working condition, I want to go ahead and I want to move the line cord over into a regular line. I'm going to get you some dial tone. And I want to dial, say, a time and temp number.
Good evening. Our body shop can repair almost any make and model for less. Offenburg Belleville, 234-0330. Today is Monday, August 1st. The time is 8:43. Current temperature, 93 degrees. Now the weather forecast for the Belleville area. Clear tonight, lows in the mid-70s. Tuesday, sunny and very hot and humid. Highs around 100. Heat index 109.
Okay, so now what I want to do is I hung up the telephone, give you some dial tone, and I want to hit redial.
Good evening. Credit issues? Apply by phone anytime at 622-4600. 622-4600. Same-day approval available. Today is Monday, August 1st. The time is 8:43. Current temperature, 93 degrees.
And then also what I want to do is I want to dial my number. And it'll be busy. So we know that this telephone is in working condition now, and that gives you a little bit of a look at a really cool foreign telephone. And it says Paris on the back of the telephone. Let's see where it says CTD Paris. Property. And you know, I can't read their I can't read their writing. So basically, it's a really cool telephone. And if it's a post office telephone, that's great. If it's just a regular old telephone, that's cool too, because this is a really nice telephone. And HG is over there, as a matter of fact, right now, and he's looking for more telephones. He gets to hang out over there and go through all the different countries, so that's really cool. And I kind of wish I could get away and do the same, but they keep me pretty busy here. And I just thought you'd like to see the final checkout video of this telephone. It's a really cool phone. I think HG is going to be very happy with this telephone, and it's really a stylish, cool telephone. And you just don't find this stuff here made that well, from other countries all the time, and so it's neat to see these and work on them and get them into a situation where they're usable again, and they'll be working for a long time. This is Dennis with A1 Telephone Service and Repair, A1 Electronics. You can reach us on the web at www.a1-telephone.com, and you can reach us at 618-235-6959. And I'll ring it one more time. And this is this receiver, and then now this receiver. So it's a very cool situation. And basically this is a touch tone telephone now, and you can call anywhere you want with it and do any kind of calling with it, and you won't have to worry about the pulse. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.